Hey, you there. Thank you for watching and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today I have a 7v7 custom match here on Chaos Saturday. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 on the northern side of the map and ending with Team 2 on the southern side of the map. Taking a look at Team 1's Western player, and then zigzagging we have in Chevy Crimson, it is Signal Runner. He's playing for a Cybernetics this match as a 1400. To his northeast we have in Batman Gray 10 Tau playing as an Aeon. He is a 1700. In Tropical Ocean Blue on the front line we have Lesas. He is a UEF. He has a 1400. He might have the sauce. He might not have the sauce. We'll see how the game goes. To his northeast in the rough middle of the map we have Holme playing as a Cybern as a 1400. To his southeast in the best color it is Forest Green Lucre playing as an Aeon. He is a 2100. For Team 1 to his northeast in Barbie Pink, I always have to zoom out to make sure I'm right, it is Kilo playing as a Seraphim. He is a 2300. He is the highest rated player on Team 1. And rounding out Team 1's lineup, we have in Stitch Blue, it is Chap playing as an Aeon. He is a 1700. So for Team 1 side of the map, they have at least one of each of the factions, but they also have 2 Cyberns and 3 Aeons. So 1 UEF, 1 Cybern, 3 Aeons, and 2 Seraphim. Taking a look at Team 2's side of the map, we'll take a look at the western side. First, we have in Emerald Green, it is Umbra playing as a Cybern. He is a 1600. To his south in Pac-Man Yellow, it is Nomad playing as a Seraphim. He is a 2500. He is not only the highest rated player on his team, but he's also the highest rated player in the game. To his east, or northeast, I should say, it is Starly in Orange Color Orange playing as an Aeon as a 2000 rated. In Royal Blue to his southeast, it is JJ Sheridan. He is an Aeon as well. He is a 1500. In Light Oak 10 to his northeast, it is Veronicek playing as a Cybern. He is a 1500 as well. And to his southeast, actually technically east now, it is Fong playing as a UEF in Ruby Red as an 1800. And rounding out Team 2's lineup in Snow White on the eastern side of the map, it is not a Desert Eagle. Is it a Deserted Eagle? So difference, of course, he is a Cybern, again in Snow White as a Cybern as an 1100. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have each of the factions as well, but they have 1 UEF, 3 Cyberns, 2 Aeon, and 1 Seraphim. So Team 1's lineup is 1 UEF, 1 UEF, and then Team 1 has 1 Cybern, but Team 2 has 3 Cyberns, and then it's 3 Aeons to 2 Aeons, and then 2 Seraphim to 1. So lots of roughly the same, but just a little bit of shifting of the balances for different factions for each team. But take a look at the map in terms of reclaim before our players obviously scoop it all up and turn it into throwing units, nonsense, whatever. Currently sitting at 1100 mass total, but for 14 players, 700, 600 sounds about right. So not a terrible amount, but it's something. There's a couple of decent clumps of reclaim. There's a nice little 700 here, and I guess it's just here and here actually. And there's Tentacle probably some already down there that's already been scooped up. And there's a couple of 550, 600 or so in the middle as well. So pretty much it resides pretty much along the prime meridian of the map, right down the middle. But a little bit off to the sides, but not too much. Taking a look at the additional mexes, though, there's really not a lot to go around for 7 players. Taking a look at, we'll do Team 2 side of the map this game. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 Trimex positions on the front line. And in the back line, has obviously the customary one-offs, not a lot of them as well. So these players back here are going to be a little bit strapped for cash and trying to scavenge as much as they can. We'll see how many players survive to 20 minutes, though, so somebody might get lucky. Not lucky. Somebody might be handed a second base just in case somebody makes a mistake sort of thing. But we do see the first 2 upgrades of the game have been started. We have Team 1's Chap on the eastern side going for Sensor, and then we have 2 guns. We have 1 for Deserted and 1 for Fong. 1 is gun damage, 1 is gun speed. Both of them have range on board. Taking a look at the western side in terms of comm distribution, where they're going around the map. We have 1v1 and then at least a 1v1, maybe 2v1. We have one player for Team 2's Nomander. He's sitting in the back line for now. He might move to the front. We'll see. And we have 2 players for Team 2 and then 2 players for Team 2 versus 1 and 1. We have 1 player in the back line for Kilo. He's staying put for now. We also have a player in the back line as well on the western side for Tantal. So 2 players haven't left the main base for Team 1, and only 1 player hasn't left their base for Team 2. So a little bit of an advantage for Team 2 on the front line for now, if I can stop drawing on the map. But we'll see if anybody decides to grow some legs, or decide to stretch their legs, I should say, and start walking to the middle. The sensor package is done. This is what Team 1 can see given the additional sensors on that Aeon Commander. So not there to the Trimix position yet, but it's closing in on where Team 2's commanders are sitting. Of course, both of them have started and almost finished their guns, and that might be an early kill for Team 2 if they do team up to go after him. Holme in the middle of the map. He's going for his gun speed and range upgrade in the middle. Going to give him a little bit of an advantage for now. A couple of units starting to stack up here for both teams, starting to face off against one another. Nearby, we have gun range started for Luker. Maybe going to go for sensor. Maybe just going to go for speed and call it a day. Sensor package on the western side for Starly. So a little bit more utility upgrades for the Aeons so far, besides the range upgrade. Nothing really crazy happening on the western side yet. Very much standoffish for now. And now guns started for La Sauce on the western side as well. So lots of guns starting to emerge for Team 1. We already saw guns emerge for Team 2. T2 land already online for Deserted Eagle, getting a nice little rhino around the map. We do see Chap will notice that and go, that's not really great. And it looks like he's going to fall back and go for, yep, he has his T2 in the land facility as well. Going for Evensong, some mobile missile launchers. I keep doing that. I keep accidentally clicking the, why can I not get rid of that? There it goes. Game wouldn't let me get rid of that little mark there. For some reason I just, my finger's like, I want to draw. And I'm like, no, I can't just draw a doodle around the map. It's going to be too confusing for myself and anybody else watching. T2 started for Fong after that gun upgrade. Gun started for Umbra on the western side, so a little bit of advantage for Team 2 on said western side. Closing in on 7.5 minutes in this game. Team 1 and Team 2's ecos haven't really diverged yet in terms of leading. It's about the same per player. I will note the leaders so far, it's Kilo in the northeast for Team 1, and then it's Umbra and Nomander. They're kind of fighting for first place in the mass generated department. T2 33% done, gun half done for Home. Units are engaging over here. Sensor package is done, which means he can see a decent portion of the map. And again, it's weird because it looks different, but first Convicom action, that's the same. Convicom action has occurred between Team 1's Aeon player of Chap and Team 2's Siphon player of Deserted Eagle. Again, one gun versus no gun, but sensor package. So advantage is an early warning system, or earlier warning system. Downside is once he's in range, not really fun to be around with that gun hitting into his chassis. Western side gun started for Signal Runner now. He has T2 on board, didn't notice that. So going to be 2,000 points richer for Team 1 than versus Umbra. It looks like, actually no, it's more than 2,000 actually. It's going to be 3,500. Gun range started for Starly. He's going to get a little bit more range on board. That Commander Lasas is pushing in. Eastern side has fallen back. We do see close Convicom actions between Varanacek and Luker. Gun speed range on board Luker's comm. Starly will engage. He will finish the range upgrade. So he should be able to fall back and make sure that he can at least fight back at the same range of Lasas. Units moving in from the west to assist the attack from Umbra, and we do see counter units inbound from Sigma to assist at least a little smidgen. Team 1 PD trying to be built to derail the attack. Shots being traded. Nothing too crazy yet in terms of losses, but does have to be careful. We're at 9 minutes, so Corsairs are possible. Another T2 fighter bombers, but for now it's nothing look like in any sort of snipage yet, but does have to be careful nonetheless because of the fact that he doesn't have speed on board. He doesn't fire as... Actually, he fires as fast as Lasas, but his Lasas's shots hit twice as hard, so just has to be careful with that. He is going for advanced range. He's going to be able to fight a little bit further away from Lasas and be able to protect himself a little bit longer. But Team 1 PD going to help protect him a little bit from the units, not from the comm. Comm is going to outrange the Team 1 PD. And we have Mantis inbound to assist. Mantis is going to try to just gum up the works here for Team 1. Overcharge does hook around and grabs, I think, a couple of engineers for Starly. Might even hit the comm as well. Not really a lucky play there. We have a second comm inbound from Homie. The range upgrade will finish. He probably needs to just back up immediately. Again, this is what he can see. He can see both of the commanders right here. So he's probably thinking, yeah, it's probably time to go home, at least head in a southward direction. Team 2's comm of JJ Sheridan with speed and range on board, pushing up against Luker's position. And he's falling back to group up with his forces. Eastern side, kind of a little bit more standoffish for now, at least from Team 1's perspective. So we'll see how that ends up developing over there. Western side, kind of a similar thing, but they're focusing their attention to the eastern side of that western side rather than north and south against one another. In the advanced range, helping out to fight back against Homie, but Homie fighting off a nice little T2 Obsidian. Very, very tanky T2 unit with the 1500 shields on board. Looks like that position will fall for Team 2, and Convicom action occurs between Signal Runner for Team 1 and Umbra for Team 2. A couple of PD mixed in there. That's not great. I do want to check on the eastern side. And Team 2's JJ Sheridan continuing to push. And Luker continuing to try to intercept. Looks like he's kind of shifting back and forth kind of like this. Makes it a little bit hard to track the comm's trajectory. Signal Runner is going to net the victory here, at least partially. He had a couple of PD helping to PD creep against Team 2's position, so not really great. We do see a couple of Vipers online. Going to go after those PD emplacements. One of them will soon be eliminated, and that'll be the death of that one. Team D probably going to be built right after that one is dead to deal with the missiles inbound. Continuing to retreat is Starly towards the western half of the middle. We do see Homie drop about 50%. Engineers inbound. No Manderdills. Nope. Not going that way. Going a different way. Oh, looks like he's going to try to drop those engineers off. And just try to fan out the reclaim as much as possible. Nice attempt there. But engineers and other unit, actually, engineers are just going to get rampaged by Team 1 anyway. So I do like that kind of fanning out. It's like the almost sort of reverse shift and move order kind of thing, where you kind of fan your units out this way. It's kind of more of a half circle. But Starly continuing to try to force back Team 1. Lasauce, he's still in the green. He does have 3-star vet, though. That's a lot of hit points to have. Engineers mostly wiped out here. Starly not lucking out too well in that department. We do see T3 Air online for Team 2 and Team 1. We do see T3 Air online on the western side. No T3 Air yet on the eastern side, so advantage for Team 1 in the air department. A little bit unfortunate for Team 2. Given this is a 7v7 game, you probably want 2 air players. Again, there's a lot of land to cover, so that is fair. But, I mean, Team 1 is still making out like a bandit, and they only have, like I said, 5 players on the front line, so they're doing decently well. Gains on the western side, gains on the eastern side. The middle's a little bit weaker, but for the most part, it's not too bad. But we do see 3 players for Team 2 right here. They're closing on Luker's position. Reminder, Luker is the second highest rated player for Team 1. He's the highest rated player for Team 1 on the front line, given Kilo is back in his base. So that would be a nice target for Team 2 to go after. But now we have Homie walking up to saying hi to Umbra. Nano almost done for him. It might give a little bit of encouragement for Signal Runner to push in T2 and gun on board. But the Nano is going to finish. The comm is going to come into range. But it is still 2v1. The regen will help. That's a lot of firepower rating in on that commander. 78 hit points a second versus 32 and 30. T2 PD in range. Again, they are tickle cannons, so not a lot of damage per shot. Something's better than nothing, though. And eastern side, we have Veronicek. Still fine. Couple of bombers over top, but nothing too crazy. We see Fong does have T2 gun and missile. We could see an interesting hook go around and go after Chap's comm. Chap is going to fall back eastwardly, so that might give him a little bit. Yeah. Ooh, missile outbound. Missile outbound. Is it going to hit? Oh, nope. Looks like he thought he was going to go that way, and he did not. But nice little dodging there from Chap. Western side still Starly under fire. He's back up into the green. 3-star vet. You see a couple of Mongeese online. Lots of Obsidians outbound from Starly. Really leaning into the just, I am a tank, and I'm going to hold the line, and I'm a tank, so come at me. The comms from Team 2's Fong and Veronicek again, still more north of Chap's comm. We might see a resurgence on Desert Eagle's side of the map and pushing in and trying to wipe out this little front line being established. Again, there's 2 commanders here, but there's an army inbound. Look, he's drawing on the map like, hey, go after these 2. And they're going to get sandwiched here pretty shortly. But again, we do see JJ over here. These 2 comms could easily fall back either. I mean, you could go straight south, but you might want to go southwestwardly and try to link up either with these forces or essentially kind of fall into the back lines of these T1 and T2 forces from JJ. We do see Luca is continuing to engage. Still the same upgrades on board. He has no vet. JJ has no vet. And the comm of Chap going around the mountain. We do see the Trimax position is down for Team 1. Team 2's Inko is still behind Team 1's, though, at about 100 mass or so per second. I thought I saw a power outage. Looks like that's what's happening. So technically, I think it was 150, but we'll say 100 at a bare minimum. Another missile outbound. It is going to grab that T2 mech. He might be able to even grab that one if he is in range, which he definitely is in range. Look at the range on that thing. That is immense. He's going to have to continue to fall back. So now it does give an opportunity for Desert Eagle to continue to push. And he is taking somewhat of an advantage of that in grabbing at least some territory. Hasn't fully committed yet. He could. To be fair, he has gun. He does have a couple of T2 units as well as a nice little brick online. So he could easily kick that position out. But he's not going to engage just yet. Of course, benefit of full vision and everything that we know what's going on, and sometimes our players don't, which is why I try to show views from either team just to say, hey, this is what they can see. We do see Signal Runner and Homie locking down underneath the shield. Looks like Signal Runner is going to go for Nano on board that comm. That's the only upgrade that would make sense at this stage in the game. Yep, there it is. And he might go for... No, I think it's a little too early for advanced Nano. It's usually about 25 minutes before we see that. Maybe players rush it sometimes, but for the most part, I usually see it about the 20 or so mark. And Umbra doesn't really have a PD base or fire base online, having to fall back to this facility right there. He does have some PD being built, but not a whole lot. And with Team 1's aggression, not looking too hot. We do see Starly still trying to hold some semblance of the front line on that western front, but not as good of a position as it once was. And it's just... the game's kind of shifting in a kind of weird direction. It was directly north v south, but now it's kind of shaping up to kind of be more... I mean, it's not exactly a straight line along this way, but it's kind of shaping up in that direction with more of a diagonal. We do see a brick in the mixer for Team 2's Umbra. Doesn't get overcharged, but does get killed off by Homie. Homie dropping below 5,000 hit points. That's not great. Ooh, he might be targeted. Signal Runner blocking some shots for the PD and some of those shots from the comm as well. Homie will make it. Oh, there's strap bombers. They're going to go for Signal Runner, not for Homie. And I thought I heard an explosion nearby or somewhere, but no one died yet. They didn't go after Homie. Again, they dropped Signal Runner. They forced the 2 comms back, and they're going to hide underneath the shield for now. But Team 1 knows there's a strap bomber or 2 running around. They're going to get another Ilshi dead. There's a T2 mech there, and it is spotted by Team 1. There's a couple of bombers. I thought I saw a Notha or something mixed in there as well. There's a couple of Nothas in there. We do see the ASFs from Team 1's Kilo move westward to intercept. They're just waiting for Team 2 to engage. This is what Team 2 can see from air, so they know the signatures are there if they're paying attention. And Team 1, this is what they can see. They actually know exactly where at least one of those strats are to try to easily just click and die kind of thing. So we will see how that fight ends up going. If he's more aggressive with the strats, maybe not. We'll see. But those 2 commanders are going to sit underneath shielding. Homie probably going to go for stealth and then Nano after that. Signal Runner going to go... he's probably just going to sit there for a little bit. Strats plus Notha says 10 Tau, so nice pickup there in terms of intelligence. Still no other T3 air facility online for Team 2. We have T2 land and T3 land right here, but no T2 air or even T3 air. Yeah, just that facility on the western side. So Team 2 is just going to get outproduced at some point. Not a great situation to be in, given there's no Navy, so the fields of war, or the theaters of war maybe, there's air and land, that's it. So if Team 1 has a monopoly, or almost a monopoly on one of those 2. Oh, missile! Oh, barely misses. It was right here. I barely caught that tiny little yellow dot But if Team 1 has a monopoly on one of them, not great. Not impossible, but not great for Team 2 to try to recover. We do see a couple more PD trying to go after Signal Runner. Again, they are tickle cannons, so nothing too crazy. Starly's still on the front line. We are closing in on 20 minutes. So unless someone magically control Ks or disappears or dies or whatever, everybody will make it past 20 minutes, which for a 7v7 game where some comms have engaged one another, that is pretty good for everybody staying alive, and that's partly due to the average rating at about 1,700. We are seeing 1,100 to 2,500 in this game, so there is a little bit of a decent variance, but at a bare minimum, everybody is above 1,000. So there is that. We do see Signal Runner just taking the brunt of the damage going after engineers and PD and whatnot. Umber going to try to capitalize. Again, he's going to get to 4-star vet, so he's going to get another 10% boost in hit points here shortly from all these other units. Overcharge wipes out that one. There it is. He's up to 10, actually 11,000, and Umbra's at 16,000. Is that T3 artillery shooting at him? Or is that T2 artillery? No, that's T3 artillery. Because it no, it's right there. Yeah, there it is. There's the trebuchet. Shots between the two commanders. Again, nothing too crazy. Signal Runner just took the damage. Was like, it's fine. I'm Seraphim. I can regen that anyways. We do see a couple of units from Umber trying to go this way, but doesn't really do much. There's not a lot of geological or geographical impediments for both teams, besides them kind of being in somewhat of a fishbowl. Not entirely, but mostly. There's a couple of mountains, but really it's just a flat map, so nothing really impeding land armies. Chrono Dampener for Luke, 21 minutes on the clock. I feel like that's a little late. It could work out. If it's defensive upgrade, I think that's fine. Offensive upgrade, definitely need a lot of support nearby just to protect him. Because, again, they don't have Nano, and that is taking the slot of his shield, so not a lot of hit points. If he gets the veterancy, 5 stars veterancy, you'll get up to, is it 16,000 something? So that will help a little bit, but it's just, it's going cloaking laser offense. It can work. Does it work all the time? Absolutely not. Does it work more than it doesn't work? I think it's like 60. I want to say like 65% it doesn't work and 35% it does work. But still, these comms engage one another. Strat Bomber's inbound, going to wipe out 6,000 hit points from Signal Runner's comm. He's at 6,000 hit points now. He's going to get back up to 7,000 here quickly, and Homie's like, yeah, nope, I'm going home now. And again, his base is all the way over here, so he traveled to the western side of the map to assist. A little bit surprised he didn't go for air as well, given he's not really producing that many land units. Not really a lot of infrastructure besides just the mexes. He's sitting at 169, so he's producing a decent chunk comparatively with other teammates. And we have Bricks inbound from the east. Overcharge wipes out the Loyalist. Actually didn't even get a chance to wipe out the Loyalist. Bricks now going after Signal Runner, and they are targeting the comm. Oh, little T3 artillery shell inbound. Signal Runner dropping below 2K. It's going to be close. He is at 5-star vet. He gains a veterancy, so that will keep him alive. Umbra charges in, and thinking that's probably not the best idea now. Umbra going to take some damage from some bricks, and he might have enough time to get back home before he's really suffering some damage. But lovely attempt by Team 2. I do love the maneuver from the eastern side, but just couldn't make it materialize. Those hit points and that nice little lucky veterancy definitely helped out, keeping Signal Runner alive. 23.5 minutes on the clock. Team 1, 1.4. Team 2, 1.6. So now Team 2 is barely in the lead. That could be power related maybe, but I think that could be actual legitimate eco. It constantly shifts. Again, Homie against Umbra. It's Gun Nano versus Gun Nano. 3-star vet versus 5-star vet. So more hit points per second and more hit points in total. And with there being 2 commanders here, he could get overrun quite easily. So definitely has to watch out how far north he goes, because again, there's PD in this base. Maybe there'll be artillery. There's more shields being built to protect the commanders and everything else that go hide for a nice little snooze. So again, something to watch out for. Team 2's commanders that were on the front line here have fallen back considerably. We see Team 2 is raring to check back here, and then we even see JJ all the way back in his main base. Another T3 land facility. I do love the backup. I don't like that the backup is right next to the other one. I feel like it'd be better. Oh, there's the one right here. He has 3 of them. Why not? Again, you have to have one. I approve of a backup, but I just more than that, it's not really worth it in my opinion. And I saw an experimental message pop up. Where is it? I just was distracted by the T3 land headquarter shenanigans. Where's the little icon? It should be easier to... Oh, there it is. Starling has it done. I love how the strat bombers are just sitting in his base. That's going to help out a decent amount. He is going for RAS now. So again, no shield on board, no chrono dampener on board, just RAS. But it does help with the eco a little bit for him. And eastern side, couple of units inbound from Lucre, but not a whole lot. We do see a couple of T1 bombers. He's producing a Monkey Lord. It's actually stalled right now. He's focusing on engineer production. Lots of T1 bombers over top from Fong will definitely help scorch those harbingers. They are scorchers, which is why I use that word. And they're going to run into the fire and the flames, and they'll definitely carry on there. And that that was that. Oh, that was a strat bomber. Nice little hover bomb there. Other mechs, other harbinger, a couple of T1 bombers. Ooh, a little bit of friendly fire there. Nothing too crazy though. Lost the T3 mechs, but could have lost a little bit more than that had the Pigeon go up in flames. So probably better to just lose a couple of engineers and a T3 mechs than lose a Pigeon and then a bunch more engineers around that. GC charges forward. Again, all by its lonesome. I don't like this. It needs AA. It needs other land units. It needs parashields if you can manage it. It needs more support on ground, but there are forces inbound from JJ going westward. We do see on the eastern side Chat being shot at by a couple of Mongeese. Those are Perseus. And we have lots of harbingers engaging lots of bricks. And looks like probably dead even for now. We do see more harbingers inbound from Team 1 that might help out a little bit. So while Team 2 focuses west, Team 1 focuses east. And we'll see how well that goes for them, because that front line might not survive much longer, and that front line is definitely not going to survive much longer. They are Percy's here. That'll help out a little bit if they're not retreating every 5 seconds. And that doesn't help. E-storage goes up. I think it was out range of that GC, but who knows. Team 1, it looked like they were inching closer and closer, but no. T3 mobile artillery just bombarded their position. And now both Signal Runner and Homie have retreated back home. But again, they're at 5-star vet. So they got their veterancy. They got their nano upgrades. They're like, nah, we're good. And they're going to retreat back home and stay safe for now. 27 minutes. Nobody has died. Very, very impressive. And I say that someone's going to die in about 30 seconds. Go back to the GC on the front line. Oh, the sauce is there. There are still some Percy's nearby. Lasas is like, oh, I should probably keep going back. The GC does stop moving, which definitely helps him. There's even a Monkey Lord and some bricks inbound from Homie. So that GC is probably not going to go anywhere. There are some harbingers going after the T3 land headquarters here. That's not going to help. And Lasas is walking back. Overcharge should help out, though. And it's dead anyway, so never mind. That'll be the end of that GC. And that'll be the end of those harbingers here shortly. Middle of the map. Looks like there was some sort of tussle, but nothing too crazy. Eastern side, still nothing really. There is a Monkey Lord. Lots of T2 PD, some TMD, a couple of shielding, T2 artillery, but that Monkey Lord is soon to be inbound and probably won't survive the front line, not the Monkey Lord. And another experimental is done this time for Team 1's chap. He could send it east, or he might just send it westward to crack Veranachek's position. I feel like both are very doable. Billy Nuke started here for Fong in the back line. Does have T3 engineering suite, so love to see it. Western side, looks like Team 1's Kilo snipes Umbra with some nice little Nathas. Assisted on the ground as well, but that is the first kill of the game. 28.5 minutes on the clock. It is now a 7v6 in favor for Team 1. That is, again, the first kill of the game. That is going to change things up a little bit, but it does give Nomander, the highest rated player in the game, double base. And again, he is facing a 2-to-1 disadvantage with the air players for Team 1, so he might like all of that additional eco, especially when he's now at almost 800 mass per second and going for more and more and more air grid. Love to see the decentralization of said air grid. Love it, love it, love it. It does have two SMDs. Love the backup. Wish this one was a little bit further north. Just it's not super tight within the, the sphere of shielding, but I do love the fact that, he does have a backup so that it is that. Again, a caster questioning at 2,500. I just like to have the SMD spread out just a little bit because the last thing you want to do is, eastern side. And that GC didn't help anything out because those gunships and Nathas wiped out the comm of Varnicek. That's a double kill for Team 1. Now it's a 7v5 as I'm blabbing away about SMDs and whatnot. Team 1 scores another kill. Goes over the Nomander. It probably will go to JJ or it might even go to Fong. It might even go to Starly. Looks like it actually went to Fong, so he has kind of this slice from Team 2. But now it is a 7v5 within a minute or so. Team 2 loses 2 players. Not super great, which usually when we see a couple players die one after the other, that tends to center Team 2's focus, or in this case Team 2's focus, more on the base, more on protection, turtling up, and we usually see big ticket items. Hopefully we'll see one of those this game. But artillery, game enders, nukes, satellites, that sort of thing, because you don't venture out and get shot at by whatever's either flying around or walking around. We have a Monkey Lord. It's not going to win against that GC, especially all of the units supporting it. It might do some damage. The comm of Fong is here. He has now produced that Billy Nuke. That'll help thin out the numbers for sure for the support units. But for the mainline unit, that GC was only on 2-star vet. That's going to be a really well-placed Billy Nuke right in the middle of all of those forces. And there it goes. Nice little boom there. Chunk. There it goes. Sounded like one of those old Modern Warfare 2, not Billies, but those grenade launchers when nukes would go thunk. Those things were deadly back in the day. Especially with the one-man army perk, you could just have infinite nuke tubes, and it was nuts. Nuts game. Anyway, western side, Monkey versus GC. That's not gonna work for Team 1 especially. He's like, yeah. Oh, nope. Oh, nope. I can't decide what I want to do with it. And decides to pull it back nonetheless. We do see possible resurgence. Team 2 definitely needs to kill to help even out the score here because it is 7v6. Not looking too good in terms of APM. The longer this goes on, it is possible for Team 2 to win the game, of course, but it's just all that APM helps. Eastern side, though, not looking good. We have Fong, another Billy Nuke loaded. GC still very healthy. 4-star vet is going to go to 5 stars. The crab not being built is going to hurt. And that whole base is gone. And I think Desert Eagle is going to be the way of the Dodo Bird here shortly. His entire, everything is over there. And there's not much remaining so far. Western side, we have a Ythotha and a Monkey Lord versus a couple of sniper bots. And GC, if the sniper bots last that long. Speed started on board. Tantal's comm. And eastern side, there's a couple of Percy's. There's not a lot, though, so the GC will still survive. We have more support inbound. Desert Eagle, is he going to just go for it? He might just go for it and try to do as much damage to GC as possible. We do have Fong. He doesn't want to launch the Billy Nuke because he will hit his teammate's base, so it's kind of one of those, does he do it, does he don't? At this point, he might as well do it. Maybe the land headquarters will survive, but everything else will be gone. I think Team 1 might have spotted the comm. Yep, they see him. Guess what they're going for? Desert Eagle is on the chopping block for Team 2, unfortunately. Fong is right there. If they see him, they might go after him next. There is a GC inbound from Team 2 moving in to intercept. They do see Fong, and he's going to go for him. You got to back up. Oh, he's in range of the laser. Oh, not good. Got to back up. Nope. Oh, the GC stopped moving for a brief moment. And there he goes. And ASF's under, or actually over the top of the explosion from the comm. Oh, that's got to hurt a little bit. A couple of ASFs did go down in that explosion. And the GC is finally dealt with, but Team 2 loses another player. It's now 7v4, still in favor of the northern team of Team 1. Again, like I said, that is a huge advantage now. Almost double the APM. Not exactly, because APM is one of those that's really hard to calculate, and even then isn't even worth calculating because, again, all of the everything factors. You might just need a quantum quantum computer to be able to calculate that. Air grid still being expanded upon. FAF farms being built for Nomander. He's just going to scale that eco as quick as possible. Team 1's back in the lead for eco, 2.7 to 2.3. And at 33 minutes on the clock, let's take a look at the game overall. Again, Team 1, 2.7, Team 2 to 2.4 K mass per second. We do see a little bit of movement from this GC and a couple of, actually, large column of Harbingers inbound. Team 1 again has 7 players remaining. Nobody has died, but Team 2 has lost Umbra, and then Veronicek, and then Fong just recently. Like I said, 7v4. Map control does favor Team 1 in every department, both west, middle, and east. Definitely the western side's maybe a little bit more questionable, but there is a FAF and a bunch of units inbound, so maybe not. But thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't, because why not at this point, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel as we watch a couple of GCs interchange or intermingle with one another, with a couple of Harbingers trying to intercept them, as well as the front line attack, which has been thwarted once again. Team 2 cannot seem to break this position. And that T3 land headquarters is still fine. Lasauce is still there. Bug is online. And again, not a fan of the bug, but hey, it does have its use case nonetheless. And ASF's waiting for Team 2 to intercept. I think Team 1 must have either more or pretty darn close to it. Nope, Team 1's still in the lead. But again, not by much. About 40 or so. GC's still not dead. Ooh, T3 land facilities? Yep. That's got to hurt production. Pigeon's going down. Yeah, it's definitely going to hurt. But they do have some reclaim on the front lines. So that's nice. Now that GC is underway. Don't know if that would have finished in time, but hey, it's close to being done. Fat Boy being built, almost done. Nomander is going to have to worry about that Monkey Lord, though. Gunships are inbound. A couple of Volthus, and that should deal with that somewhat nicely. Fat Boy, oh, it's actually got a lot of time to go. Never mind. Monkey Lord, Megalith, and GC on the western side pushing in. Missiles are inbound. And they're targeting the T3 land headquarters. That's going to deprive Nomander of his T3 Cybern tech. And there come the missiles. There's a couple of TMD there, but not enough. Nice grab there from Team 1. And I think there's another volley of missiles inbound just to confirm that. They might be going after T3. Nope, they are going to go after that again. And the Fat Boy will be denied. Veterancy for the Monkey Lord means it'll survive a tiny smidgen longer. Couple more kills might mean that it survives even a tiny smidgen longer after that. Nope, doesn't get that brick. Maybe, I don't know if it would have survived with that one brick, but a couple of them probably would have been enough. Air fight over the top of a GC, and Team 1 has the numbers, not even including those from Tantal, so that's going to be a win. There is some AA nearby for both teams, but I don't know. There's a lot of dead ASFs for Team 2. Team 1's Kilo is sitting at still 168, so he lost 80. He lost 100, and Team 2 lost 200. So that is a not great trade for Team 2. He might consider going for Game Ender or something to get that number back up. He is going for Nuke, or something. That is definitely or something. And Emissary started for Team 2 Starly. That's nice to see. I don't see much of anything on the eastern side, though. I do see that bomber. Ooh. That's a dead base for JJ Sheridan. That's what that is. Oh, right in the middle of the... Oh, the crab was almost done, too. Oh, yeah. That's not good. Oh, bomber continuing to go down. Oh, it might go after... I was going to say, why is it going after East Orange? It's not super great. The Fat Boy is done. That's something. And it's going to drop on these T3 mexes. Snipe at Team 2's eco a little bit. Nice grab there. T3 landed quarters will be fine. Still takes significant damage, but hey, did take damage nonetheless. They're going to go westward now. Might drop on top of Sheridan's position. The shield will probably hold, or it's just not going to drop anyway, so just forget what I just said. That would have been a good opportunity, but they know about the artillery being built at a bare minimum. This is what Team 1 can see. They can see the little hub, the little hologram there. They can't see what's over here, though. And again, the air grid that they know is expanding as we speak. Team 2 is getting bombarded both on the land and in the air. Not looking good for Team 2. We have 2 chickens, but we do see 4 experimentals, 1 bug. There's a lot of AA mobile, in fact, and a couple of stationary ones being built. That bug might not consider going too far south because it's going to get shot at, but a lot of bouncers. Yep, there it goes. And it goes, he's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. He's like, yeah, it's probably not worth it. In terms of the reclaim, a lot of it sits on the western and eastern side, but there is, of course, that Bomber wreck in the south. 236,000 mass on the map in terms of total reclaim. Pretty dead even. 500,000 mass reclaim between both teams. Team 1 barely behind Team 2 in total mass accrued at 3 million each. There is a couple of fat boys in the middle. There's a GC over here escorting Chap. And again, as a reminder, Team 1 has not lost a player yet. And again, that 8 p.m. advantage is really starting to show. 2.9 to 2.4. Nomander does have that nuke online. He's going to be loading that, I would assume, decently aggressively. More air for him. And more air. Artillery is done for Starley. Team 1, do you have any counter to that? Nope. Oh, what's over here? Chicken. Artillery being built there. Artillery being built there. Another bomber going to be built. I don't know about that, but artillery going to be built there and then there. I do love the spreading out. It means that it's a little bit harder to target both of them if they're not literally right on top of one another. Bug on the eastern side is now shifted this way. A little bit weaker of a side. There is a fat boy, and that fat boy is not going to have a fun time because, oh, there's some more cougars coming in, but yeah. Shield is still holding. Not great, though. There are some ASFs online for JJ. He could try to go after that Soul Ripper, but he probably wants to keep that fat boy. Oh, okay, there he goes. He sees the fat boy being shot at now. There it goes. Wipes out the bug. Definitely smart move there. Does lose the ASFs, or almost all of them, but hey, saves the fat boy at a bare minimum. That will help with thinning out the HP a little bit for these 4 GCs inbound. Team 2, lots and lots and lots of PD being built for them, making sure that they protect it. I thought those were satellites for a second. Another crab inbound, so it's going to be 2 to 4. Fat boy going to help out a little bit. ASF's waiting to engage. And second artillery has been started for Starley. Don't know what they're targeting yet. We'll take a look at that in a second. Eastern side still fine. Looks like Chap is essentially just ignoring this side and going this way. It looks like they're focusing more of their attention on the middle. They might try to cut Team 2's eastern and western half, well, in half. They deal with one side and then the other. Bomber inbound to the western side. That's going to kill off a lot of AA, but that bomber, ooh, look at those numbers go down. Ooh, it will die in the next pass for sure. GC's continuing to push on through. Gunships inbound first. Second GC is down, apologies. First Mega is down, and that's not going to help. The GC's still there. Looks like they're charging for the comm, it looks like. Oh, mass fabs. That's not going to help. Another set of mass fab farm position with facilities. That's going to go down. That's going to hurt Team 2's production, at least a smidgen. 3 GCs and a Mega walking to a bar. They see 2 chickens and wonder what the heck's going on there. Donut is done. Team 1 has built all 3 air experimentals in the game. The Donut, the Awasa, and I don't see the Bug. So they would have had all 3 at the same time, but the Bug just had to go and die, unfortunately. Well, fortunately and unfortunately at the same time. Ooh, nice drop there. Kills off a couple of units. It went after softer targets, so again, it's heavily damaged, so they don't want to give another mass reclaim position here to Team 2. Doesn't really help things if they do. I thought somebody had a Paragon. I was gonna say. And Fat Boy is going to go down to the Megalith, though. That's not going to help. 3 chickens, 3 GCs, a ton of Perseus. That's not good for Team 2. Nuke is outbound. Where is it going? First nuke of the game. 41 minutes almost on the clock. And it's going for this position. No SMD. 41 minutes. That's... Oh, hold on. It might clip it. It might just clip that SMD range. There is a second nuke online for Team 2 Starley, though. So it looks like he went for a nuke instead of an artillery piece. Bomber lands on top of the GCs. That's not good. And those 2 of the GCs were dead anyways. But 3 GCs dead for 1 chicken and a Megawatt. They do lose that Fat Boy, though. But I think Team 1 will take that trade any day of the week. No, it slips on by. Kilo says YOLO. That is not a YOLO. That is a regular nuke unless I missed it. Kaboom! Clips the artillery being built and kills off a ton of P-gens. Thought that was a Paragon for a second. Are they building a YOLO? Artillery is landing from Team 1. Where did they say Team? Oh, they may have changed it to from YOLO to Nuke. And western side. Oh, SACUs plus. Oh, that's a lot of AA going to go down. Ooh, oh, nice. That's a lot of dead stuff on that western side for Team 2. It's not looking good over there. Not looking good. Donut over here going after a Mega. That's never fun. There is still AA nearby, though. But that Mega will die definitely before that Donut loses enough HP to fall back. Or consider falling back. One artillery piece is done. Second artillery piece is done. Team 1 has 2. Team 2 has 1 there. And they are building one right here. So the artillery wars are under. Ooh! Clips a chunk of the air grid. T3 area quarters is fine. Transitions immediately into shielding. Love that. Immediately transfer there. Protects the P-Gen. It's going to get a T3 shield. You can protect a chunk of it, but it still loses a chunk of the air grid nonetheless. That does eat into his power just a little bit. Still has 20,000+ though, so nothing too crazy. Nuke still pointed out by 10 Tau. Probably talking about Starly's nuke. Yep. And as the shell just comes in from the northwest side of my screen there's a chunk of the air grid. Looks like both of the artillery pieces for Team 1 are targeting roughly the same thing. Not exactly, but it's pretty just this section of the air grid. Or air grids. We have Fat Boys moving in from the north. We have Yathothas over here. Another Yathotha. We have Nathas inbound. That's going to wipe out almost all of the hit points for that guy. Almost. And the GC is going to help out a ton. Megalith is going to finish here shortly. There it is. That's a lot of Fat Boys, though. Lots of T2 artillery. Fat Boys might be thinking about going home. Airfight happens. They don't kill off the they don't kill off the Awasaw. It's almost dead. They're like, well, that's not going to work. Tons of ASFs dead in that engagement. Apologies for missing it. Donut's dead right there as well. Lots of not good things for Team 1 in air. But again, they have 1, 2 artillery pieces, and they're raining in on Team 2's air, so they might just make it an even situation at some point. Another SACU goes down. That bomber is still alive. It's going to make possibly a suicide play onto these Fat Boys. One Fat Boy is dead, which means he had 4. There it goes. All the AA is going to go down. That Fat Boy actually might die here. Oh, 2,000 hit points remain. Another nuke is inbound from Team 2 once again. Look at that. That air grid is gone, or a chunk of that air grid is gone. And Team 2's Nomad are just losing air production just out the wazoo. Has 1 loaded, working on his 2nd loaded. Team 1, of course, has built SMD here. More there. None there. That's a little concerning. Ooh. Ooh, there are no SMDs along essentially this western half besides the one for Stuckner. SMD is... it's not loaded. Oh, that's going to hurt. Team 1 had 2 artillery pieces right here. And boom! Ooh, that cuts the artillery power in 2/3 gone. And Chap says, no way. And was it this one? Nope, it was Starly's. Shield is down. 108,000 mass. Lovely grab there. He is going to go for that 2nd artillery piece. Were there 2 nukes? Yes, there were 2 nukes. Not... oh, I see what he's saying. No, there's only 1 nuke. Ooh, but he's probably going to build an SMD. Oh, yep. Oh, actually, it is loaded. I missed that. Apologies for that. I thought there wasn't here. I was like, there's got to be one over there. But there is one. It looked like it wasn't because it was surrounded by PD. Kind of hard to see. So, apologies for missing that. What's going on up here? He's just hanging out. Okay, cool. Just protecting his comm. Again, Team 1 at 7 players left. Team 2 still at 4. So, it's been a little while since the last death of the game. And Team 1, they might get a flawless victory here. We'll see. If they win the game and nobody dies, that's a flawless victory for them. But who knows? Someone might tell them they're in. It's entirely possible. Lots of dead units on this western side for both teams, but I think Team 1's getting a little bit better end of the reclaim, given that they're pushing in. But Team 2 is still in the lead, 600,000 to 478,000, over 1 million mass reclaimed, and we're closing in on 10 million mass total accumulated. We're at 9.2-ish, 9.25. So we're closing in on that 10 million mass accrued. And GC is dead, walks right. Probably not the best idea into that mess. We have Fat Boys producing a ton of shielding and AA to protect themselves. Lovely move there. 2nd artillery piece still underway. The air grid has just been ravaged for No Manor and his mass fab farms. That's That's not helping his eco. He drops below 1,000. Another nuke is inbound. He's going to hit the land units. He's going to go after the FAF boys. And the FAF boys are actually going to split, so they might grab one of them. It depends how long it takes this nuke to get over there. Megalith is down. They might not even grab either of them. That's a little unfortunate. Yeah, I think they're going to get out of range. They will get... Oh, this one turns. Oh, it walked right back into range. Kaboom! That fat boy survives. That one does not. If it kept going that way, I kept trundling, it would have gotten out of there. Unfortunate. So it cuts the firepower in half from the fat boy. That definitely helps out a little bit. SMD pointed out by Team 2. Yep, there it is. And it's newly minted as well. That'll help protect that artillery piece from Tental. He did take some damage to his air facilities, but not a whole lot. Western side, another, what is that, number 4 bomber for Team 1 and second donut? Team 1 is pumping out air units left and right in the experimental department. We have Fat Boys pushing against Fat Boys. Artillery is going after the SMDs. That's what they're going for. No, Oh, barely doesn't block it. It looks like he is trying to do that. He does have 30,000 shields on board, so that is a lot of damage to just say, nope, go away. And artillery trying to take out the remainder of that portion of the air grid there. Second artillery piece for Starly still going. He's loading the nuke. He's trying to do double duty. It's kind of working, kind of not, but he does have that nuke loaded. Second artillery piece now underway here for Sheridan as well. Eastern side looks like it's getting shot at. That's not good for a Deserted Eagle. I want to say Desert Eagle. It's just out of habit. Missiles inbound or artillery? Oh, those are missiles. They're trying to go after the Fat Boys. They are going to miss. They're not going to clip the shielding. Looks like they're going to hit right about here. Oh, that's pretty close. Well, they went really far back. Okay. We have T2 artillery. Artillery still striking that base. That base is pretty much gone. I'm surprised they're not targeting this or this or this. They're targeting the weaker side of Team 2 and I mean, I understand that, but there's not a lot of momentum in Team 1's direction this way anyways, so it's not really great. Tons of AA nearby. Kills off that Fat Boy, so that's another one dead for Team 2. But Bomber takes a decent chunk of damage. It might have 2 more passes in before it dies. Another artillery piece is done for Luker. That's number 2. So it went 2, 2, and 1. But those 2, of course, have been gone for a while now. So it's 3 artillery pieces to 2, but Team 2 has 2 nukes. Actually, sorry, there's 3 artillery pieces now. Apologies, that one's newly minted. And Western side still holding, but you can see it's slowly being chipped away. It's diminishing returns, but they are still getting some movement in there. Missiles inbound once again. They are closer. Luca's really trying to lead those shots. He might actually hit the shielding with this one. Oh, no, he might actually just hit the Fat Boy straight up. Oh, right there. Look how close he was. He does take out the shielding, though. So at a bare minimum, that helps. Bomber is inbound. Could have targeted the Fat Boys. Goes after the AA. Regrets his decision, but the crash damage will kill off engineers anyways. So, consolation prize. And Donut still hanging out. We'll see if it tries to block that artillery shot. And Chicken actually veers away and is now going after Starly's position. Tons of PD being built. And he's got to protect his investment. That nuke killed off a ton of artillery already. Definitely doesn't want to lose it. And it's going to charge in and come say hi. And is there a recall order? We lost artillery, says no, Mander. No? Oh, they lost this one. Nuke is inbound. He's going to fire it just in case he loses the nuke. Definitely smart there. He tries to go after this. The Donut is blocking the shots for the SMD. Big floating shield that it is. Look at that. That nuke is inbound. And it's... Oh. Shielding is going down. Shielding is going down. Just a big flying shield. And there... Bonk. It's the shield. And says, no thank you. And goes home. ASFs are inbound going after the gunships. And the gunships, again, they have really good AA, but that's not really going to work. Second nuke? No. Second nuke inbound? Yep, second nuke inbound. The chicken barely is taken care of. Look how close it was. A lot of engineers died. A couple of shielding emplacements died. 50 minutes on the clock. Team 1 still has not lost anybody. I thought I saw a comment about a recall suggestion, but it looks like it was denied. And explosion on the western side. Kaboom. Wipes out something. I don't think a whole lot, though. Not that I noticed, to be fair. Transport drops them off in the wake of the explosion. Fat Boy went way too far forward. Paid the price for it. 71. I was going to say 71,000 mass killed. Very good. Very, very good. Fat Boy killed death ratio. Another SSU blows up somewhere. There's those over there. Artillery's raining in on the western side of No Mander's air grid because he doesn't have an eastern side anymore. Nuke is heavily loading. He's putting everything he has into that thing. I just don't think Team 2 has enough. There's just so much more territory. Team 1, 3.6. The Team 2 is 1.6, so more than double the eco. We have gunships chasing after a donut. They kill the donut, so nice grab there. Don't land on top of the Fat Boy. That would suck. It's just, I just don't see any way Team 2 has enough momentum to shift the game. Explosion happened somewhere. There's 2 artillery pieces, of course, still here. There's a second one here now for Tantau, so there's 4 online for Team 1. Oh, that's just it. I was like, why is there just random fire there? We have Starling on the front line, advanced range, ARAS, and sensor package. Most of it is just engineers, so it's not really any too worrisome thing. There is an SACU there, but it's engineer. Ooh, and it got hit by an artillery piece. That's got to hurt. 21 minutes on the clock and climbing. Now, there's a little bit more resurgence on the eastern side, but again, it's going to take a long time, and Team 1 can easily shift and just crush that right back with all their air, artillery, whatever they want. I just don't think Team 2 has, like I said, enough at this stage. They need a game ender. They need some big thing to really just kick the game right back into their favor, but losing another portion of the air grid. The shields are down. The artillery is gone now. Oh, and there goes Team 2. Who is that? Starling to Sigma Runner. That's another dead player for Team 2. Now it's a 7v3 in Team 1's favor still. Gunships inbound for that. Euthotha. That's a dead Euthotha if I've ever seen one. There's a lot. Yep. Immediately just went, nope, that's not getting anywhere. Everything transferred over to No Mander. He's back up to almost 1,000 mass. It's just, like I said, not going very well. Is that another artillery? Yeah, it's another artillery piece. That one's newly minted. That's number 5 for Team 1. Number 6 is coming online. I thought Champ was building some. No, he decided against it. Okay. Decided to go for donuts and GCs. I don't blame him. And Team 2 does initiate the recall order. So 3 players make it out of there alive, but it's still a loss for Team 2. And looks like a Chap control cade because why not? But anyway, Team 1, flawless victory. Technically, I don't count that control K at the very end there. Team 2 lost 4 of their 7 players. MVPs for me from Team 1. I mean, I think everybody made it to the end, so that's one thing. The artillery helped out a decent amount from Luker and Tantau, so that was good. There was tons of pressure on the western front. I think, honestly, without the artillery, I mean, maybe the air would have been different with all of the ASF producing facilities dead for Team 2. Granted, they also lost their artillery as well due to Team 1's artillery. But I think the land game on the western side, late game, between Lasauce and Signorunner was really good. I mean, look at this. They got all the way to here, and there was a chicken that almost killed off the nuke. It landed, it was like right about there. So a couple more minutes, and they would have breached front walls, and that might have been it for a land situation anyways, which is probably another reason why Team 2 just was like, nope, we're good. We'll go to another match. So I'm kind of inclined to give it to one of these 4, these 3, 4. But again, can't underestimate Kilo's air. He did lose it. He got it back. Again, I think everybody did a very good job, but I don't know if there's like, oh my goodness, this play was one of the most important, if not the most important in the game kind of thing. There was no stand-out-ish player, if that makes sense. But let me know down in the comments if you agree or not. You probably don't, because my takes sometimes aren't the greatest. But I will note, 12-0 million mass accumulated in this game. Lots of mass was thrown around and only fit in 52 minutes. So really good timing there. But thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't, because why not? At this point, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And I will see all of you in the next one.